A major Bitcoin move is about to get started because right now the Bollinger Bands is on its tightest level it has ever been for the last 2 years, and this historically always signals a major big breakout is about to come. So on today's update video, obviously I'm going to be talking about which direction this breakout is likely going to be moving towards, what are we seeing on the daily 12-hour and of course the bigger time frames on Bitcoin right now, what is the data exactly telling us, what are these major trend lines from previous bull markets to this bull market also telling us right now. Of course, I will be talking about the White House crypto report, what it meant, and basically that it was quite a big of a nothing burger. So I'm going to be talking about that, my trades, and much more on today's update video. So don't forget to once again slap on the like button. Back above 1,000 likes will be highly appreciated. And let me jump straight away in towards today's update video. So Bitcoin and the entire market yesterday, of course, saw a slight little dip here. Now we're rebounding back towards the upside. And of course, our trades are happily still in profit, especially the Ethereum trade is right now still in about $231,000 in profit, which is of course quite insane. And I've said it so many times before here, but I do ultimately think the big breakout on Ethereum is going to be happening whenever ETH compared to Bitcoin, so that chart over here, breaks this resistance line right here. And exactly what we're doing right now is that we're trying to be breaking above it. In the case that we are going to confirm the breakout above this high here, I expect we're going to be moving all the way up here towards this high right here, which will be approximately a 15% bump for Ethereum against Bitcoin. And I do think that is going to be, of course, very, very great for my trade, and especially also the trades I am taking on altcoins, because I am also still betting heavily on this rotation. And I quickly want to be mentioning that free $100 you can currently claim on WeX right now is going to be expiring on 11 p.m. CST today. So this is your last chance to get a free $100 and a 25% fee rebate on WeX, which already makes it the cheapest exchange out there. All you need to do to claim this $100 is go to the first link in today's video description, sign up an account to WeX, and confirm your phone number, email address, and then you can get a free $100. And on top of that, guys, you will be trading on the cheapest exchange out there, which will give you 25% fee rebate. So that is, of course, absolutely massive. Further on, I want to be discussing a little bit about what we're seeing is currently about to be happening on Bitcoin, because indeed the Bollinger Bands is extremely tight right now here. You can see the red line, the top side and the lower side, they're coming together and they're squeezing up here. And honestly, the last time they were similarly close here, but not as close, was all the way back here in February 2025. Then we didn't got a push towards the upside, but a move towards the downside. I'm also not saying we have to move towards the upside. The only thing I'm saying, after a sustained period of consolidation, you usually tend to see a big breakout. Whether it's going to be upwards or downwards still has to be seen here, but we are going to get a very big one. And the last time we were at the same level of tightness on the Bollinger Bands was all the way back in August 2023, which is arguably 2 years ago here. So guys, you have to understand, Bitcoin, its volatility is very low right now here, and whenever we're going to be seeing a break outside of the range, and especially whenever we're going to be breaking outside of any of these trend lines, right, where we've been looking at the previous range high, at the range low, or potentially outside of this bull flag pattern, which we've been also looking at for a very long time, guys, then we are going to be seeing a big direction getting created for Bitcoin. If we break towards the upside, the price target is laying somewhere around $127,000, which is obviously quite an insane target towards the upside. But of course, vice versa, if we break the upward sloping support line, I won't be surprised that Bitcoin is going to come back towards $110,000. So there are two stories to this pattern, and of course it really depends where we're going to be breaking towards. But honestly, if I look at the chart, if I look at the structure, it is almost like a 90% certainty it is going to be moving towards the upside. So I am also still betting on a breakout towards the upside with all the trades I'm taking. And once again, guys, if you're looking for an exchange where you want to trade the cheapest, you will get a 25% fee rebate on WeX if you sign up using the first link in today's video description. And it is already the cheapest exchange out there. But yeah, currently, clearly, if I'm also looking at the liquidity heat map, there is some liquidity being piled up below us right now as well here, but still the majority of liquidity is laying above us. But I can be potentially expected also we can grab that lower side liquidity before potentially moving higher. or first we're going to be grabbing the top side liquidity before ultimately moving lower again here. So make sure to be on high alert for a liquidity grab in this market, since liquidity grabs tend to be happening quite often if you are in prolonged consolidation phases, which we are currently in, of course. So Bitcoin ultimately, on the weekly time frame, I discussed that many times before as well. The ultimate bull market price target is going to be 140 to 130,000 US dollars. If I am looking at the weekly time frame for Bitcoin, I think that as long as we're trading above this upward sloping support line you can see over here, I believe this remains to be a bull market. And of course, as soon as we break below this level, then I expect we could be coming down quite heavily. Also, what I want to be mentioning is that, yeah, Bitcoin is creating, of course, an upward sloping resist line where we got rejected from multiple times here. And this is just a very important trend line to be also looking at for Bitcoin, because it seems to be that every single time once we do touch this level, we still do get rejected. So if we can break above the top side, it ultimately would mean something very big for Bitcoin. So of course, those are very important things to have here. Yesterday, we got the White House crypto report. In this report, nothing was really stated. However, the White House did stated that the Bitcoin reserve is well on its way and that more information will come soon at it, but the crypto report was basically a clear nothing burger. Then we also had the Powell Fed rate decision. This was, of course, very, very expected. There was no rate cut whatsoever. And for the next meeting, it's like 50-50 if we're going to get a rate cut. So let's see how that is, of course, going to be playing out here. Then, of course, still I am betting very heavily on the rotation. Of course, I've already bet very heavily on Ethereum. Ethereum remains to be very resilient in this move towards the upside. And just like I discussed earlier, if we break above this high here on the ETH compared to Bitcoin valuation, we are going to be looking at a very good period in the market for Ethereum. And of course, the biggest thing in the market right now here is stablecoins. More people are seeming to be waking up about it. And of course, the stablecoin supply remains to be increasing, while Bitcoin remains to be flat here. But of course, ultimately, the more stablecoins in the market, the more buy pressure also enters the cryptocurrency ecosystem. Then the Ethereum major monthly downward sloping resist line, which of course is this downward sloping trend line right here, is likely going to get broken. And of course, if this breaks, guys, we're going to be in for a major breakout, because just like Bitcoin did last time around, we could be in for, of course, an insane rally back towards the upside. And of course, one thing is for certain, that is always at the end stage of the cycle, the ETH compared to Bitcoin pair does the best here. And of course, so far, it is exactly played out again here. ETH compared to Bitcoin in the final stage of the cycle is bouncing, but of course, I am still expecting something a little bit bigger. But of course, it is still playing out exactly like I've done, like it always have before. But of course, you have to also be on high alert, because for Bitcoin, this also means that we're right now also at the end stage of the cycle. So that, of course, ultimately the time frame for this Bitcoin bull market is not going to be so prolonged anymore. Then, of course, we are entering an altcoin season. Of course, we can see it on multiple charts here. We can see it on the Bitcoin dominance. We can see it on the activity on Ethereum. And the best part about it is that it is not overheated yet here, because on the funding rates, they are not overheated yet here, because as soon as funding rates go overheated, it means that the majority of the traders are opening up long positions, are willing to secure a position, a leveraged position in Ethereum. But of course, that is not the case right now here. So that is, of course, super exciting. You can see it also on WEX. It's 0.01 here, which means neutral funding rates, even though the price action on Ethereum is so strong here. So ultimately, this shows us that the bull market is not over yet, and it's only getting started. So guys, once again, don't forget to check out the link description in today's video to claim that free $100 to WEX. This is your last chance to do so. But anyways, this was it for me in today's update video. Subscribe to the channel, slap on that like button, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out. Goodbye.